This is the New Heights Cuts channel. You can find the full interview on the official New Heights channel.
Your football career a little bit. We talked about it a little bit ago. Receiver at St. Vincent St. Mary. I believe you ran a 4.4, right?
Yep, yeah.
The highlights are incredible, but we need to settle something. We've started this debate, and I'm sure you're aware of what we're about to ask. What is easier to do? An NFL player going to the NBA or an NBA player going to the NFL?
Oh my goodness!
From a guy that literally could have played both. Everybody knows you could have done both. I respect this decision.
This is a great debate, and obviously I've been hearing and seeing people's responses and seeing people's questions or whatever, and going back and forth. I want to say that I think it's easier for a basketball player to try NFL.
That's no question.
Over the NFL player trying to get into the NBA. And I know we got some great athletes. I seen Keon Coleman's highlights when he played, and it's a lot of guys that's played basketball. I seen Zay Flowers play his high school highlights as well.
Oh yeah, Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, super athletic, fast, quick guard. But I would say basketball to football. An NBA guy decides to go play the NFL. Yes, it's going to take a transition period, and for me, it would have been like getting used to being hit again. Like I remember just like in high school, I was to go from summertime playing basketball, playing AAU ball, and then going into the fall, I had to get used to getting hit again. Like that
those first three practices,
once you put on the shoulder pads and the helmets, like getting hit again is the most important thing. And then getting the cadence back, getting your routes back and all that. But once you get into a groove, you're like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
It's like riding a bike. Football going to basketball, it's such more, coordination and running and jumping, and it's like consistent. It's consistent.
It's a way different.
It's consistent. With football, you say hike, whatever your cadence is, boom, just quick twitch, then settle back, reset, quick twitch, settle back, reset.
Yeah, 6 seconds at a time.
Exactly.
Max,
6 seconds at a time. But in basketball, you can go on for 4 or 5 straight minutes with no timeouts, no breaks, and you gotta keep your mind fresh. You gotta breathe. Like you gotta,
Jason isn't built for that one.
Yeah.
I was about to say, listen, I could have definitely played in the NBA, no question about it.
No, Bron, I gotta know if there's one player outside of yourself who you think would be able to make the cleanest transition into the NFL. Who would it be?
I would say off top of my head, Russell Westbrook or Anthony Edwards. Yep. I think Russ be an unbelievable strong safety or free safety. His ability to
you think he's playing defense?
I think so. And Russ, he comes with that natural aggression off top.
He does.
So
You're right.
He got that Derwin James type aggression. He's trying to hit somebody. And I think Ant Edwards, I've seen a lot of his Little League football highlights, and also I think he played in high school as well.
Ooh, I gotta check those out.
He looked like he can make the transition as well, but off top, I think Russ for sure.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards has a bit of that mentality as well.
Yeah, for sure.
What I've seen too.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
As fellow Ohioans, we got to talk about Cleveland. Did you know Trav saw you play when you were in high school?
Oh, yeah, baby. Cleveland State, baby.
Have you guys ever talked about this?
Yeah, I did. We talked about this a couple of times. He came to Cleveland State and watched me rock out, man.
Man, I was in middle school, man. I was just trying to see the king, man. I was trying to see it before it went pros, man. I wasn't sure if you were going to land in Cleveland. Luckily, you did, and I got to see you play countless amount of times up at the Gund Arena, then the Quicken Loans Arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, saw you down at Cleveland State. How many times did you play at Cleveland State? I can think of 2 off the top of my head, but
yeah. I think I played at Cleveland State probably about 5 times. I know I played a few times early on in high school, and then definitely a couple times in my senior year. So it was definitely a fun time being up in Cleveland and playing up there. I even played at the Gund Arena too my senior year. We played against Warrensville Heights. My senior year, and I don't like to talk about this too much, but my senior year had more fans than the Cavs had that year.
There's no question.
I think the only time they had more fans was when MJ played in Cleveland. But
that's too funny, man.
But
that's too funny.
That was
man,
good.
I'll tell you what, man. For whatever reason, man, I was still like one of the biggest Cavs fans, even though they were the worst team in the league. Darius Miles, Boozer,
all those dudes, yep.
Ricky Davis, man, all those guys. You would get a few highlights a game, man, and still be ready.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like you knew they didn't win a lot of games, but they're gonna give you a couple plays here. Ricky D, D Miles, Smush Parker, Booz, like all those guys was on that team. It was fun to watch, even though they wasn't that successful there, man. But it was fun to watch.
Well, you turned them up, baby.
But you bring up a good point with like you bringing more fans to the gun than the Cavs did. I don't think people now realize just how big you were in high school. Like unless you grew up in that, it was so crazy.
Oh man.
Right.
The level of expectation and fame that you had at St. Vincent St. Mary. Like I've never seen anything like that to this day.
No, you're right, Jason. And the funny thing is, like you say, like, and this is before social media, so you couldn't really.
That's what it is.
Unless you was there in real time. You didn't know. It was just word of mouth. It was like, okay, I heard about this kid from Northeast Ohio. Like, I heard about this kid. It was like, okay, well, like, who's trying to make a trip to Akron, Ohio? Who's trying to come to Cleveland? It's like, but like, if you happen to be, going to the Canton Football Hall of Fame, or if you happen to be going to Cleveland to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or if you was to happen to be in town and I happen to be playing,
then
you understood what the hype was all about, why it was so much conversation. So I can only imagine if social media was around there, we would have, it would have been too much for Northeast Ohio at that point.
That's interesting, yeah.
It's really like you were the last of like that legend era of like word of mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, back when you were playing, when I was playing, like back, guys had to literally be the absolute best to get some sort of highlight tape. If there was nobody just out here just putting their highlight tape on YouTube and getting looks or getting clicks.
No question, Trav. Like right now, like if you could be anywhere in the world now, and because of the phones and because of the things you can capture, you could be recruited and get accepted. Back then when we played, if you didn't have a coach to come see you live, it was going to be hell getting a college scholarship. And you showed up that day. And you had to show up because they was all over the place. Like they was not just going to come and keep coming back if you didn't show up. Like, and you had to perform in front of those coaches, and you knew those games that those big time coaches was there too. So it put even more pressure on you to show out. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right about that, man. We had to, like us three being Northeast Ohio kids, like we had to show out when those coaches was there, or we didn't know if they was going to come back.
Missed the train.
Yeah, you missed the train. Yep.
Not only were you from the Northeast, you end up going to the Cavs. You end up bringing the first title to Cleveland.
Man.
What was it? Like 50 years or whatever it was?
I think it was 57 years, something crazy.
57, yeah, exactly.
I was like, I wasn't alive yet. Why do I get this pressure?
That's crazy, man.
I do got to ask, of your 4 championships, where does the one in Cleveland rank? I mean, the first one, it's hard to top the first one.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. We all remember our first one. And we know the feeling that we had when we won our first one because of like all the disappointment before that. All the hard work, the dedication, the things that people don't see, the nights that we cry about what the fuck we could have did better in order for us to get that first one. And then you're able to prevail. That first one is so special, so dear. But man, it's nothing better for me than that Cleveland one, just because of everything. Like you said, the 50 plus years of no championship in Northeast Ohio. The 7 years I was there beforehand, and it took me to leave and to come back to it, like to understand or appreciate it even more. Being down 3-1 with the greatest team, 73-9 Warriors with Steph and Clay and Draymond, and and coming back and winning that game and winning that series for the city of Cleveland for Northeast Ohio. That's why you saw the emotion of Cleveland.
You get me fired up right now, man.
Yeah, baby,
you get me fired up right now, man.
You saw me crying on the court. It was like it all just like, whew, like that one. 2016, I would become an old man someday. We will all become old men. I know we got great beards. They're going to be all gray at some point. Coming in on the sides.
Yeah.
That year, that's one year I would never forget. 2016. It was an unbelievable time.
I came back and went to the parade, man. It was absolutely epic, dog. I appreciate you again for doing it. I know I told you a million times, man.
It's the greatest parade, man. Absolutely.
for Cleveland one time, baby. Cleveland would be the only sports town to win a series 3-1, and then baseball the exact next series lose 3-1. We could have been on top of the world forever, man.
We could have been on top of the world forever, but it's all good. Cleveland, by the way, the Cavs look amazing right now as well. They got another opportunity.
We are rolling.
Yeah, I hope they keep it going. They got an opportunity to do something special. So, I'm glad I was able to put on first, set the trend, and hopefully we keep it going.
Go Cavs.
There you go, baby.
Well, now that we're in the NBA, you've went viral a couple of weeks ago, I guess now. Who owns Christmas? According to you, I love the NFL, but Christmas is the NBA's.
Well, listen.
We are sneaking in on that territory.
Listen. I saw the fucking numbers after the fact. You guys kicked our ass, all right? Okay. From a viewership standpoint, y'all kicked our ass. You had, the games weren't as great as they should have been.
They should, yeah.
Well, you have fucking Beyonce coming out there.
I think
Beyonce, Mahomes and Travis. You guys go there and kick Pittsburgh's ass, and Beyonce comes out there. But I had, when you go out there, you got your little brother, and he may get beat up one time. You're like, hey, we didn't lose that fight. We're staying here. We didn't lose. That's how I felt. I had to stand up. I had to stand up for the NBA.
Hell yeah. You've had a couple of huge milestones recently. Recently passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most points in your career.
That's crazy stuff right there.
And obviously you and Bronny became the first father-son duo ever to play in a game. I mean, what career achievement means the most to you besides the titles? We already talked about titles.
Yeah.
Like this type of stuff. Like, which one is the biggest deal to you?
I think besides the titles, obviously the titles rank right up there. There's something that when you get into it, that's all you play for. When you're able to get with a franchise and y'all all believe in the same thing, it's like
special, man.
Yeah, we are competing for championships in every year without a question. And when you're able to accomplish that, it's like that's exactly what the hard work and dedication for. Yeah. But for me, obviously, when it comes to the titles, that's one separate thing. But to be able to be in this league and play in this league and also being able to do it alongside Bronny right now, that's like one of the biggest accomplishments and probably the number one accomplishment I've ever been able to do. Like to work with your son. I've
so
heard
crazy.
it from a lot of people, man. And like not only sports, but I've heard it in business and walks of life. And it's the greatest thing you could ever have. And to see him every day, grinding and going through the process of trying to become who he wants to become, while I am, sitting there and just watching him and doing the things that he wants to do and being able to just take it all in. It helps me get some of the minutes and hours and years back that I did not have with them because I was playing so much and on the road and doing my own thing. So and traveling, exactly. Yeah. So to be able to get some of this time back now, man, it's pretty special.
He's handled the hype and the scrutiny and everything so perfect and so well.
Yeah,
you had the hype coming out, but there wasn't the expectations of being as great as you. And
I didn't have to deal. We go back to the social media. I didn't have to deal with the social media trolls either growing up.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I didn't have to deal with my father being this fucking guy that's on the pedestal. I have to deal with that. Bronny has to deal with all of that. And if you ever meet Bronny, then you'll realize, you'll be like, I'm such an idiot to look down on him or not want him to do great. He is the most chill, easy, fun kid in the world. He goes to work. He goes home. He takes care of his body. He plays his video games. He reads a little bit. And then he comes back and does the same thing. And he's like the best big brother that his little brother and little sister could ever have. So, nice. But he's dealing with all that too. So, but that's going to make him, I think it's going to make him be even greater, because having to deal with all of the things that he's dealing with and still being able to come back from a life-threatening situation and still have that motivation, still have the motivation. He didn't have to. Bronny doesn't have to play basketball at all. Right. It's not like he needs the money.
And he's a smart individual. He can do whatever he wants to do.
He can do whatever he wants to do. Like if he wants to be the CEO of my company, he could be that. I'll give that, start teaching him right now to be that if he wants to. But he's like, this is my career, this is my goals, and this is my aspirations, and I want to play ball. This is something that I love, and I love that kid. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Can't wait to see him keep going, man.
Man, appreciate it.
At what point do you even realize that that's something that can happen? Like, I look at my kids, I'm like, bro, that's insane. You're playing with your son in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like,
You also had your first daughter when you were like 30. Dude.
Right.
oh, that's fair. But either way, I just think it's amazing. And I don't know, it's got to be like, at what point do you like, I might be able to actually play in the NBA with my, like, was there a moment or like?
It was, you know what? It's a video clip of me that somebody sent to me not too long ago. I think it was about 7 years ago. And it's so weird. It's either 7 or 5 years ago or whatever. I think Bronny was either in the 7th or 8th grade. And it was my 15th year in the NBA. And I felt incredible. I think that was the year I played all 82 games. I played every playoff game. I think I played like 105 games total that year. And I came out of that season, I felt so damn good. And I think somebody caught me like, you know, do you ever think that there's a possibility that you may stick around to possibly play with one of your kids? I was like, man, the way I feel right now, there is a possibility. And
It just hit you right there.
It hit me right then and there. And
wow.
God willing and damn bat crazy shit to me, it happened.
Yes, absolutely.
It absolutely happened. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man.